Hey folks, this is Patty. I just wanted to make a video talking about my theory about the connection between Q and G. I think I figured it out because I think there's actually more evidence than people realize of what's going on. They were actually kind of telling us over the course of the Street Fighter franchise. So first I'm going to show you a bit of the Street Fighter 3 Third Strike Q arcade ending. Just a little bit of it for evidence. First piece of evidence. Did you catch that? He says, it can't be the same person. So this implies that either Q can teleport between countries or there's multiple Qs. Now, as you're going to see with the following pieces of evidence, I'm going with the latter, that there's multiple Qs and one G. So let's go to the next piece of evidence.
G's stage is basically a television studio in space, which hints at a man with more than just pageantry and fanfare. How he has his own space station is anyone's guess. And in the background, manning the cameras while G fights, are people seemingly wearing Q's mask, or something very much like it. Just what does it all mean? G bursts onto...
There's a literal example in Street Fighter V of multiple characters wearing Q masks. And you could say, well, G wears Q masks in his alternate costume. So maybe it's not, Q. But I'm going to show you one more piece of evidence that implies that there's multiple Qs and one G. Now, just to set this up, this is concept art from the official Street Fighter V developer blog. They had posts after each Street Fighter V DLC character came out showing off concept art for what they could have gone with for alternate costumes. This is what they could have gone with for G's alternate costume. Do you see that? Do you see that? There's a girl Q. So they're not even just putting the mind control thing from G in men. They're putting it in women too. They're probably putting in non-binary folks. Maybe they're putting it on like dogs and cats. I don't know. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I want to see a girl Q in Street Fighter 6 someday, but that's beside the point. Now, at this point, we know that there's multiple Qs and one G. So we got to start speculating. So first of all, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm pretty sure G is a cult leader because, let's look at this.
What is it that we fight for? The answer is quite easy to explain. It's undoubtedly something very clear. Our great planet Earth is unique throughout the universe because we are together as one. The power of all the people on this planet makes us one. When the people come together, there is no one on Earth who can stop us. Power to the people. Power for all the people of the Earth. For all 7,427,000,000. I will be the protected father to everyone, and I will be the loving mother with great care. I'll be your servant because I am all of you. My voice is your voice. What I fight for is to fight for all of you. That's why your power is within me. The power as the President of Earth. Now I do hereby declare to every single person on the planet Earth, from the very bottom of my soul and with the deepest of sincerity that I am firmly resolute in my undertaking, that I will not yield to anyone or anything until I accomplish what I set out to do. Together, you and I will become one with Earth. I swear, the Earth and its people shall become one. Power to the people of Earth.
Now, did you notice something that he repeats in all three speeches? He says, we're all going to come together as one, and I'm going to be in charge. Earth as one, me on top. So I think, G is going to put his kind of fighting style into the G's, into the Q's. So that's why all the Q's fight like him. But as you're going to see in this next piece of evidence, they don't fight as good as G. They fight in a degraded style, which someone else on YouTube noticed. Probably wondering, well, how is he doing it? How is G making all these Qs have his thoughts and his fighting style and controlling them to make them fight like him and, doing this pluribus ass thing where he's making them all him? Well, there's actually, it's right in front of us. It's the iron mask that all the Qs wear. So there's actually precedent for a mask doing stuff to someone's brain in a franchise that Street Fighter has historically had a lot of inspiration from. So Juri is famously ripping off Jolene from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Guile is famously ripping off Stroheim and Polnareff, I think his name is, from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And Rose is famously ripping off Lisa from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, you can look this up. It's not like a fan headcanon. It's like confirmed. They're basically the same character, but just made into a fighting game character. Because JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has been going since the 80s in Japan. Like, it's older than Street Fighter. So, the whole thing is, in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, in the very first chapter, it has a lot of chapters in the first chapter, but you know what I mean. There's something called the Stone Mask. It's a mask that Dio steals from, I think his name is like Jonathan or something, and he puts it on, and the mask, he got it from Jonathan got it from an archaeological site, and he doesn't think it does anything or whatever, but Dio knows it does something because he put it on a homeless guy, and it made the homeless guy super weird. I guess I should say unhoused guy, sorry. But, so Dio puts it on, and you can see it, like, does things. It has, like, a little scalpel comes out of it and goes, and he becomes a vampire. That's how Dio becomes a vampire in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So, yeah, like, that's what the Iron Mask in Street Fighter 3 Third Strikes for Q is. G put it on him and all the other Qs, and he's controlling them, making them fight like him. And they're resisting. That's why they fight in a degraded style, but they are still being forced to fight like him. And furthermore, I think that Q was one of the Qs was sent to assassinate Gil. I don't know if they ever did, if that's canon, but you can play as Q and go and beat Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and at the end you beat Gil. So maybe G has such big ambition, he wants to beat the Illuminati that Gil is part of. So he has big plans. That's probably why in Street Fighter V's character story mode, Rose is very scared of G. So yeah, that's my theory. I hope it makes sense to you. Thank you. Bye.